Ask Cubans in Havana what they think of the 1959 revolution. You'll hear a variety of answers, but almost every Cubano will extol the bravery, virtue, and honor displayed by their heroes. The names still roll off their tongues with ease. Fidel, Che, Raúl, Cienfuegos. Now take that same conversation to Miami and ask an exile from that same revolution. Snakes, murderers, communists. So how did it happen? ¿Cómo fue? The revolution began in 1952, when former Army Sergeant Fulgencio Batista seized power. He had been president from 1940 to 1944 and ran for president in 1952. He seemed destined to lose. So he seized power before the elections and canceled them. Fidel Castro, an attorney and rising political star, was among those appalled by Batista's coup. Castro needed weapons to fuel his revolution. In July 1953, 138 men attacked a Cuban army compound at Moncada in eastern Cuba. Castro's rebels were routed, but Fidel and Raúl escaped. Their trial was televised. Fidel Castro was sentenced to 15 years in exile, but he became a hero to tens of thousands of impoverished Cubans. They sympathized with his arguments against Batista's dictatorship. Less than 2 years into Fidel's exile, he was released. In Mexico, Fidel, Raúl, Camilo Cienfuegos, and Argentinian Dr. Che Guevara plotted Batista's overthrow. Those four, along with their most ardent supporters, boarded the boat Granma and headed for Cuba and a date with history. Batista's troops met the Granma and routed the revolutionaries, who escaped into the Central Mountains. While Castro and his movement were holed up in the mountains, other Cubans began to take on Batista's troops, creating chaos and earning followers. In the summer of 1958, the dictator sent his troops to meet Castro's in the mountains. The move backfired. Most government troops either surrendered or were killed, while many others joined the revolution. During the fall of 1958, Castro's forces divided and began marching from the mountains to liberate major Cuban cities. They were greeted as heroes. In the final days of 1958, these ragged rebels marched on Havana. By New Year's Day 1959, Batista had fled to Spain, and Cuba belonged to Castro.